Hey guys, I'm back with another video. It's been a while. I've been a little bit busy. It was a combination of moving, so I'm actually moving out of this place in about 2 weeks, so won't be in this location for much longer. But then of course I have to get settled into a new place, so that'll take a little bit of time, so I'll probably be gone for a little bit. Probably be back for like fall candle action, I'm hoping. I bought probably way too many SAS candles anyways, that this will actually give me some time to move, unpack, and also use some of these candles up as well before we get into the very busy fall candle burning season. So there's that. So my house is kind of in like different stages of deconstructing, but it is what it is. And then on top of that, I also just came back from a like 5-day trip to Atlanta. I met up with a candle friend and we wanted to hit up all the Atlanta test stores for semi-annual sale, which I really don't need any more candles, but it's kind of like when you're under the pressure of somebody else as well. You kind of like start going out to all the stores around the region and start picking up stuff. And as you know, Atlanta has they're a test store region, so they also have so much more inventory than any other stores that we've gone to. So there's a lot of like 75% off candles to be found at those stores as well. So that was a whole lot of fun, but obviously probably overbought a little bit more than I should have. But part of that trip was also trying to acquire those like peppered plum candles. Let's see if I have it. So like, yeah, it's like these candles, Dark Velvet Oud. This was a test collection that's not on sale right now, but I really wanted to get them at least the day before SAS started when the candles were still 10 off, as well as the collection with like, that looks like this. So I'll have a separate haul of both those two test candle collection as well as the Citronella candles in a video after this, where I'll talk about all the test candles in depth. We were just both really intrigued about those candles, so that was also another part of why we did the trip to Atlanta. So yes, basically I think we hit up, I think it was 10 stores in Atlanta, which a whole handful of them are actually test stores. There are many test stores in the Atlanta region. It's mostly in like the northern Atlanta area. There are many test stores, both like a combination of standalone stores as well as mall stores. And most of the stores had all those test candles in abundance, so we were good to go there. But then obviously hitting them up for SAS to see what 75% off candles we can find, and then obviously some other stores outside of the Atlanta region that we went to. And those were about maybe another 5 stores or something. And so this is basically my cumulative, collective Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale summer 2022 haul. Quite a bit of like 75% off in juicy finds that I'm really happy about. Normally, you know, SAS, I don't partake in it too much because it's just kind of like the same old like the stuff, like the current stuff, just on a sale price. At a sale price similar to what it's been for the whole season, so there's really no incentive to go to a semi-annual sale for me. But because I was in a like 75% off region, as well as being able to find some hidden gems, it turned out to be a lot more exciting. So if you're interested in any of that, then stay tuned. Been an exhausting trip, so I'm a little scatterbrained, but we'll try to work through it and get through it. So here we go. So the first candle we have that I was super excited for, this was just a like a mall store that just happened to have like a big section of 75% off candles, and I really wanted this one because I was kind of let down by buttery popcorn, and this is sweet kettle corn right here, which was from last fall. It was like that very last fall release right here, and this one reads freshly popped kettle corn, creamy caramel sprinkled with sugar and sea salt. This one has that very like yellow wax to it. This one's so delicious and so strong. And I bought 2 of these when they first came out, but then like the first one kind of deaded out mid-range, so I was kind of over it. And then so the second one that I didn't burn, I actually ended up exchanging for a different candle, and then I kind of like regretted it ever since. And then I kind of forgot about it, but then buttery popcorn came out in the Summer Vibes collection, as you see right here. And I was reminded of my regret of exchanging out sweet kettle corn, because this is not sweet kettle corn by comparison. I was talking about how they smell really similar, but they actually aren't when you have the 2 side by side. This one's so much more inferior to sweet kettle corn. This one definitely has a sweeter, more caramel infused like Cracker Jacks type of feel to it that I really enjoy. And it's just very much like a quintessential, like almost like a Slacken era, old school golden era BBW like fall fragrance, similar to your like summer Boardwalk, minus that heavy apple and cream note, but similar like salted caramel popcorn, salted caramel, salty caramel experience definitely exists in this. The first half is very strong, but the second half kind of duds out. But for 75% off, I'm like, okay, I'll just like deal with it. So that's kind of what I did there. Buttery popcorn, by comparison, is nowhere near as sweet. It's a lot more buttery, but then this one's also a lot like crayony instead of like plasticky smelling when you go to burn it, and it's actually quite light for a popcorn fragrance. So I think sweet kettle corn is the far superior like kettle corn popcorn fragrance. So I was happy to find that for 75% off. I actually found that at a number of stores. I think I found it at least like 3 stores that had them for 75% off. So there was that. The thing is, a lot of stores, I guess they're just overwhelmed by that like sudden jump of SAS starting a few days early, and then like scheduling with like you know, sales associates and managers is kind of like whack too. That I think they might be overwhelmed, that they might not necessarily have the time to scan all these candles. That a lot of these 75% off candles are actually on 50% off tables. But like me and the friend kind of like knew what was supposed to be 75% off. So even if we found something that was like, you know, on a 50% off table, we're pretty sure of what was 75% off, that we're able to still score 75% off candles even if it wasn't marked that way. So it's just kind of like you have to kind of know which collections are actually 75% off. So if you do see this collection, then it's usually going to be 75% off with like the Spice Cranberry Toffee, Mountain Teakwood if you come across it, and Fall Festival, which that one hasn't been easily spotted. Another one that was 75% off was the Caramel Brûlée Latte from this collection right here. This one is creamy latte, sweet caramel, a sprinkle of nutmeg. I actually kind of ragged on this when it first came out because I was like really excited for Caramel Brûlée Latte being a new fragrance, but it turned out not to be a new fragrance. It's actually a direct repackage of Pumpkin Caramel Latte, which also is similar to Creme Caramel and Maple Cinnamon Pancakes. And I was just kind of like, well, that's kind of deceptive to like say it's Caramel Brûlée Latte and actually be a repackaged fragrance. And so I ragged on it, but the more and more I burned through this, and I finished this one like pretty quickly because it was just so strong and massive and awesome and burned great down to the bottom. I really loved it by the end of the candle. And I was like, you know what, I kind of wouldn't mind finding another one of those, especially for 75% off. So I did find it for 75% off. It's a super milky, creamy caramel drink fragrance to it, with like a hint of like a powdered sugar creaminess to it. It's pretty much just pumpkin caramel latte from the Slatkin & Co. days, which is always strong and just like obnoxiously strong and awesome, which I love in like an open concept area like this. So I was a happy camper to find this for 75% off because I actually really ended up liking this despite it being a repackage. So there was that. Another candle that I found was a 75% off Summer Boardwalk from this collection right here, and that's what that looks like. I think this originally came out during like that COVID lockdown era, but then got re-released again for like another SAS or something like that, or Candle Day perhaps. And this is caramel glazed popcorn, warm taffy apples, and salty sweet cream. Everybody knows what Summer Boardwalk smells like. I have a few Summer Boardwalks in my collection, but they all have dudded out mid-range, and they have like the core wicks that really nub out. This one had the thick rope-like wick, so I was like, you know what, for 75% off, I'll try this one out and see if it's good. Summer Boardwalk is always like tried and true, like one of their, well, it used to be one of their strongest fragrances. Not quite as strong anymore, but I haven't tried a like current generation or a newer era Summer Boardwalk in like forever. That was like, with the thick rope-like wicks and a new rapport, I'm hoping, like cautiously optimistic, this will perform good. So we did get Summer Boardwalk. It's your salted caramel popcorn with like an apple and sweet cream note that I really enjoy. So there was that right there. Moving on, I have a few of the $11.95 candles. These are just some of the candles that I didn't know if they were going to go 75% off anytime soon. And they were like my favorite from the entire season that I was like, I wouldn't mind just like locking in. Basically, they're like backups to like the one that I had throughout the season. So we had Ice Lemon Pound Cake here. I've talked about this and raved about this so much. This and the next one are pretty much like my top 2 favorite candle releases from this like first half of 2022. Juicy, awesome, just excellent, moist, like drizzled lemon pound cake fragrance. It is sugary glazed icing, pure lemon zest, fluffy pound cake, whipped cream. When you go to burn this, it's just so divine and so decadent and juicy and rich and awesome, and nothing artificial or synthetic about it, which is great. It's just a pure awesome like lemon pound cake bakery fragrance that I really enjoy. Pretty strong when you go to burn it. Kind of does the slow burn towards the mid-range point, but kind of auto-corrects and does fine after that. So still really enjoy it nonetheless. I polished one off. I'm working through my second one, and then this is like the third full one that I will have, and then that should be it for Ice Lemon Pound Cake. So really enjoyed that one, so I did get another one of that, one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites from the season. I think I only bought one, and I polished it off and I loved it. But I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind a second one of this just because I feel like this wasn't in favor for most of the candle community, that I don't know if this is going to come back again. That I was like, I just have to lock this in. So I did get one more Fresh Lemon Waves, and this was the only one that I'll have in my collection at this point, and that's what that looks like. This is Summer Citrus, Orange Vanilla Blossom, and Surfside Breeze. Oh my god, divine, delicious, and awesome. Just beautiful, like floral, sophisticated, powdery, like a beach resort type of fragrance, like Italian. I think I was saying the Amalfi Coast vibe, where you get like the sea, ocean air, and the orange and lemon groves, like, you know, blooming in the background. Just simply excellent. If you like suntan or sun-kissed coconut, vanilla blossoms, or vanilla beach blossom, or was it vanilla beach flower? Any of those type of like powdery, neroli, orange blossom, white floral mixed with like a lemon juicy zing, then I think you'll really enjoy this. Definitely more in like the fragrances you find in like luxury candles versus the usual BBW mall candle fragrances that we find these days. Strong performance, just excellent throw, awesome. So Fresh Lemon Waves right there. And then I also got another pink petal tea cake. I finished one and that was great. And then I think I have a second one for my archives, and this one will be the second one, the other, like third one that I guess I can burn. I already gushed about this forever and ever. This is like the standout of the SAS collection for me. The blends were all kind of snooze fest, and I didn't really care for any of the rest of the Big Fun Bought for Sale collection here. So we have pink rose petals, pound cake, and vanilla glaze. Beautiful, awesome, delicious. Sugary rose petals mixed with like a pink creamy vanilla buttercream strawberry like cake fondant icing type of feel to it. Simply excellent. The strongest performance out of all the pink petal tea cakes that we've had, and just a great burn down to the bottom. It was just simply flawless, that I was like, this version is just so excellent that I gotta get another one just to lock it in. So I think I'm pretty much set on pink petal tea cake for the rest of my life at this point. Will obviously be happy if it ever does come back again, but I'm like totally set. Like I have so many pink petal tea cakes I really don't need anymore. So there was that. And then we found a lot of like juicy, more like rare finds for 75% off. So I was like, girl, count me in for that. Did I really need any of these? No, but a lot of them are like rare old fragrances that I just happened to come across. So I was like, girl, put it in the bag. So we have warm apple pie from the 2021 collection, I believe. Was this an online exclusive that year? So I did not pick it up, and that's what that looks like right there. I know the later versions of warm apple pie have all been quite weak, but for 75% off, I was like, okay, I'll try it out, because I think I only have a single warm apple pie in my collection, and it was the very lone strong one from the red wax from that PB&J year. That was excellent, and I haven't had it since then. So baked Granny Smith apple, melted brown sugar, and flaky homemade crust. I think it's online right now as an exclusive, but I think it's also very much unscented. This one, I don't know. It has white wax, so it's a little bit promising that it won't dud out. But everybody knows what warm apple pie smells like. Super buttery, awesome, like cinnamon apple, crusty apple pie fragrance, in the realm of like your blueberry pie, sugar cherry pie, and berry waffle cone. But this one has a distinctly like buttery cinnamon apple flavor to it, that makes it smell like a great, awesome, like truly a pie, bakery crust, buttery, warm apple pie fragrance. So that's that right there. Not sure how this is going to perform, but for 75% off, okay, we'll try it. Oh my god, I came across Thanksgiving, which is juicy red apple, gooey caramel, and praline pieces, and that's what that looks like right there. This is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, this was so slept on, because I think it was the fall after the summer of the COVID lockdown, so I wasn't really paying attention too much for this, but I think I finally got it towards the end of SAS that year, and I was like, oh my god, I totally slept on this, and it ended up being really good. It's like this, it's kind of like Cider Lane and Caramel Apple, but just a totally different, like, take, not totally different, but just a different take on it. It's like this awesome, just ooey gooey like apple slice fragrance mixed with like almost like a caramel cider, which sounds very much like Cider Lane and all the other caramel apple fragrances, but it was just a slightly different take on it. Maybe the apple was more of like a Granny Smith, so give it a little bit more of a bite with like a caramel cider fragrance to it. It was just simply delicious. I think, I don't know if the marketing or the naming on this was just kind of off or weird, or if it was just too similar to the other ones, but I much prefer this over the plain caramel apple, and it really rivals Cider Lane for me, because as much as I like Cider Lane, I actually still really enjoy Thanksgiving as well. I was cherishing it and babying the very last one that I have. I only bought one, and it was like flawless down to the bottom. I have just like maybe a tiny bit left. So when I came across this, I was like, okay, I'm so excited for this. So Thanksgiving right there. So the next one I have is an online exclusive that I've never got before, and it's the Coconut Colada right here, and that's what that looks like. This is coconut rum, crushed pineapple, and sweet vanilla cream, and I'm kind of confused now, because I thought this version was not the same as the original Coconut Colada that had the banana note in it, but now smelling this one, it kind of does smell like the original one that did have the banana in it, which I was making in my chocolate banana mudslide comparison review. But I don't know, this one kind of smells like the original one now, but I thought the newer single wick one was a different fragrance from the original one that had banana in it. but maybe it is the same fragrance. I've never actually smelled the 3-wick version. I'll have to burn this one and see, but maybe this is possibly is the same as the original Coconut Colada and that like magenta wallpaper label. I don't know, I'm a little confused now, but I'll have to burn this one and see how it does. But this one actually does kind of smell like the original one that had banana in it, but it lists pineapple as a note instead. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you guys on that one, but it smells great. It's like a coconut, like pineapple, banana, like drink fragrance, which is very similar to the original Coconut Colada. And it's also similar to chocolate banana mudslide, but that one has a more emphasis on a banana and a chocolate note. Similar fragrances, but I still enjoy this one, and it was like a rare online exclusive that I've never tried. So here we are with Coconut Colada right there. Next, I was talking to the friend about, I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind coming across a sweet rosemary vanilla, because while that was very similar to cinnamon sugar donut, when you go to burn it, there was like this hint of a like lemony rosemary herbal twist to it that gave it a slight difference, even though it was like 90% cinnamon sugar donut / cinnamon spice vanilla. And then lo and behold, we came across a sweet rosemary vanilla, so here it is. So of course I did grab it. This is fresh rosemary sweet vanilla cake and whipped frosting. This was like a replenishment collection from, was it like after Candle Day, I think, of 2020, and I was really disappointed in this when it first came out because I was expecting like something completely different, but it has that like dark, like deep green wax on there. This is pretty much cinnamon sugar donut mixed with like a slightly different, like almost lemony tinged rosemary herbal fragrance to it that I actually really ended up liking. And it was super strong and awesome, and it burned like great down to the bottom, although quite sooty. So I was like, sure, why not? So sweet rosemary vanilla, this was also 75% off, so I snagged that one up as well. And lastly, we were also both like going through our list, and we're like, you know what, Saltwater Breeze would be another excellent one that we could come across, and bam, like magic, it just like showed up. So we did come across, we actually both came across a Saltwater Breeze that we were both able to get one. And this is Fresh Linen, Violet Leaves, and White Water Blossom. This was that body care fragrance that came out, and I think it's still out, but in a different packaging now. There was a matching candle of it. And I first ragged on it because I was like, this is kind of boring or generic, but then I blew the first one. It was excellent, awesome, clean, and just like a very guest-friendly, refreshing, like beachy, oceany, but still a little bit like linen-y, clean, salty fragrance that I've really enjoyed. And then I bought a second one, and I started burning through that one, and I was like, you know, I really wouldn't mind seeing a third one, and then here it was. So we have Saltwater Breeze right there. Yeah, it smells excellent. It's like this, almost like a crisp, like green pear apple fragrance. Like there's a fruitiness in there for sure, mixed with a powdery floral and a like salty ocean air vibe to it, and it really does evoke a Saltwater Breeze. It's just very like pure and refreshing and clean, but still a little bit floral, and just super guest friendly and awesome, and a great throw on it as well, and the beautiful like packaging on it. So I was super jazzed to see that one. So yeah, it was just crazy how some of the candles that we're talking about just like showed up on our adventures. So there was that, and whew, that was probably way more candles than I needed, but for like the majority 75% off, and then like old juicy hidden gem finds, like sign me up for that. So that was my even though I'm going through a move and I have so many candles that I have to move and lug around, but it is what it is. It was still a very fun trip. So that was my 75% off plus $11.95 to my annual sale haulage. And then stay tuned for the in-depth review and haul video of, well, not a total review because I haven't burned all of them, but stay tuned for the in-depth haul video of the 2 test collections, well actually 3 of them, that are in Atlanta right now that we were also able to score, and I'll talk about those in the next video. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you found any like 75% off finds. I have to say, like, Atlanta had the hookup in terms of 75% off candles, but once you like left the Atlanta region, you really don't find anything. So it's kind of like SAS really has the hookup, girl. That northern Atlanta test store region, that's where it's at. So if you're ever like looking for just a fun trip or like a shopping vacation, then check out the northern Atlanta region, because you have your pick of the litter in terms of like inventory and stores that have test stores. So that was that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.